Every few years, the business world falls in love with a trend. Right now, that trend is built in public. Why, you might ask? It is believed that transparency builds trust and the community builds momentum. Visibility builds customers. So founders ran with it and tweeted daily revenue updates. Brands live stream product development. Entrepreneurs share every win, every loss, and every pivot. But here is the uncomfortable truth. Some companies built in public and won big. Others built in public and destroyed their credibility before they ever had a chance. Meanwhile, some brands stayed silent, worked behind closed doors, and launched with surgical precision, while others hid too long and emerged irrelevant or overhyped. So which strategy actually works? Should you build in public? Should you build in private? Or is the real power in knowing when to do each? Today, we are breaking down true brand stories across tech, fashion, food, restaurants, hardware, FMCG, and startups. We will uncover those who won, those who failed, why, and what you can steal from their strategy. This is not trend chasing, this is strategy mapping. First things first, let's differentiate what building in public and building in private means. Building in public means showing progress while building, sharing failures and milestones, inviting customers into the journey, using transparency as marketing, while building in private means developing quietly, controlling timing, messaging, and review, avoiding premature feedback and hype, revealing only when ready. Neither is inherently right. The danger is copying a strategy that doesn't fit your business. Apple is an example of brands who built in private and did it right. The original iPhone wasn't built on Twitter threads or behind-the-scenes vlogs. It was built in near total secrecy. Inside Apple, employees worked in isolated teams. Some didn't even know what others were building. Prototypes were hidden. Leaks were aggressively controlled. And conversations were probably done in hushed tone. Why? Because Apple's advantage wasn't speed, it was experience, design, and narrative control. If competitors had seen early prototypes, they could copy features and subjugate them. If the public saw unfinished versions, expectation could go soar. So, Apple waited. Then Steve Jobs stepped on stage in 2007 and revealed a product that felt fully formed, magical, inevitable, and market-ready. And the result? One of the greatest product launches in history, a category-defining moment, and a multi-trillion-dollar ecosystem later. What's the lesson here? When your brand's competitive advantage depends on patent, IP, and impact, silence can be a competitive weapon. Use it. Let's talk about Segway, the brand with an overhyped product with little adoption when it initially launched in 2001. Segway was a revolutionary two-wheeled self-balancing personal transporter charged at $5,000 per product. Segway was built in secrecy. Rumors said it will revolutionize cities, change transportation, reshape urban design. Some even believed that it's bigger than the internet. The mystery created massive anticipation, but when Segway launched, reality hit. It was too expensive. $5,000 for a scooter in quote. Regulations limited its usage. Most people didn't actually need it. And lastly, it solved a problem only few consumers had. For Segway, the problem wasn't the technology. It was over-promising before validating demand. The outcome was a cultural punchline instead of a transportation revolution. It failed to replace walking and biking as anticipated, and nearly 2 decades after, it sold only 140,000 units in its entire lifetime and closed down in the year 2020. Building in secret only helps if it hides progress towards real demand, not progress towards an unrealistic fantasy. Now you can argue that the last statement isn't true because Apple was never demanded for, but Jobs went on to introduce it to the market unprovoked and gathered success. Apple was successful because it combined 3 essential and existing functions, a phone, a camera, and a music player, into one user-friendly device that solved real pain points. That is the difference. Now let's talk about a publicly built product that was done right. buffer. Offer turned transparency into brand power. Offer didn't just sell a scheduling tool, they sold a philosophy of transparency. They shared revenue numbers, growth experiments, failures, salary formulas, internal lessons. Instead of hiding mistakes, they turned mistakes into content, and marketers loved it. Founders learned from it, and customers, they trusted it. Their transparency became a free marketing channel, a recruiting magnet, a loyalty engine, a reputation moat. Why did it work, you might ask? Because their audience valued learning, and their product wasn't easily destroyed by their transparency. So their honesty built emotional equity. Lesson here is building in public works when your audience benefits from your process, such as learning how to use the tool and not just simply watching your progress. Now let's talk about building in public gone wrong. Clubhouse. Clubhouse, the popular app that a selected few had access to, but many were raving about it just a few years ago. The Clubhouse story is an example of fear of missing out without foundation. Clubhouse exploded during the pandemic. It was an invite-only access. It had celebrity rooms and many wanted to belong. And the fear of missing out spread faster than wildfire. Demand was hitting the roof. It felt like the future of social media. But the hype outran the product. Problems emerged, such as weak retention, moderation controversies, privacy concerns. Competitors copied their features fast. There was no deep moat beyond novelty. Public hype accelerated its growth, but it also accelerated its decline. So what's the lesson? What do you think they could have done differently? I want to hear your thoughts. Write it in the comments. If you build in public before you build the feasibility, you hand competitors a blueprint to sabotage you, and the end users a reason to leave. This is a major lesson the founders will go home with. Now, moving away from tech, let's talk about consumer goods brands that flopped and those who made it. The first is Glossier, a community-first public building. Glossier didn't start as a product company, it started as a beauty blog, Into the Gloss. The founder, Emily, listened to what readers wanted. She turned community feedback into product decisions, and this made her customers feel like co-creators. Why did it work? Because customers felt like they co-owned the product, product decisions were demand-backed, marketing became organic, and community-led. Public building works in consumer goods when your audience feel emotionally invested in your product. Now, on the other hand, is Josero, a typical example of public hype, public disaster. Let's talk about how this product was marketed as the next best thing after sliced bread. Josero was a high-profile Silicon Valley startup that failed in 2017. After just 16 months in the market, despite raising $120 million in funding, the company's downfall was driven by a really expensive $400 Wi-Fi connected juicing machine that was severely over-engineered. The Zero Juicer was marketed as revolutionary, but journalists revealed the juice pack could be easily squeezed by hand. This made public trust to collapse, and the product fell off. What lesson can we learn from this? It goes to say that no amount of branding or secrecy can save a product when the value doesn't justify the promise. So far, we've explored the concepts in different phases, and one thing still remains: know when to do what. Gymshark had success building publicly, for example. They turned visibility to loyalty. There are countless businesses who have tried the same and failed woefully. Never forget that public building magnifies both excellence and flaws, so tread softly. There are verifiable reasons why businesses fail, and I made a video on it previously, which will be linked up there. But briefly, let me share a few. 1. No product market fit. Cash flow issues, including something nobody wants. Poor timing. It is important to note that both secretly built and publicly built brands fail when founders avoid real validation. So when do you build in public? Based on research and data, public building is best for creator-led brands, SaaS, community-driven products, fashion, beauty, lifestyle, education, low IP risk businesses. It works well when feedback improves the product, speed matters more than secrecy, and product solves a real problem. When should you then build in private? When you are building a hardware, biotech, fintech, Building in regulated industries, deep tech, high IP businesses, restaurants, refining experiences, building in private is your best bet. Building in private works well when early mistakes are costly, competition can quickly copy you, products must feel polished at launch. If you figured which works best for you or your brand, how do you then build in public without looking foolish? How do you then build in private? To build in public, do this. Share insights, not empty hype. Show lessons, not just milestones. Reveal your progress, not your vulnerabilities. Build your audience, then review your product. Use transparency strategically, not emotionally. Avoid doing the following: oversharing fragile ideas, letting Twitter dictate your roadmap, launching before retention work, building for applause instead of customers. So how do you build in private but still win attention? You can stay private while sharing your founder's journey, educating your market, building your email waitlist, showing your culture and values and not the entire solution. Building in private doesn't mean invisible. It means controlled storytelling. So if you don't know how to tell your story without saying too much, go grab a course on storytelling to avoid costly mistakes. Building in public isn't wisdom, and building in private isn't fear. The real advantage is alignment. Align your strategy with your industry, align your strategy with risk, with your IP sensitivity, your customer behavior, the cost of failure, the speed of competitors copying you, and so many other factors that you need to consider. Just make sure that you don't do anything blindly. The business world is bloody. So founders win because they are loud. Others won because they were silent. But the founders who last, they choose strategy and not trend. And this became their differentiator. So, with these few points, which of this strategy would you be using in your product launch? Share in the comment section. Let's learn from each other. Until my video come your way again, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.